including the Wall Street Journal, Money Magazine, Success Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, and Forbes. Her latest book is Why Leaders Fail and the 7 Prescriptions for Success. Coming to you today from Monument, Colorado, and no, she did not bring any weed.
You mean she doesn't have any left?
Nice.
So why is she here again?
Hi.
She's in the right place, David.
Please welcome leadership expert, economist, and Navy Commander, Mary Kelly.
I'll tell you, I've made all my important life decisions based on John Denver's songs. He sang Calypso, I joined the Navy. I thought it was exactly that romantic thing. You sail the 7 seas, travel to exotic countries, meet interesting people, and then try to kill them. Then of course he sings Rocky Mountain High, so I moved to Colorado. They legalized pot, and now everybody practices Rocky Mountain High. Fantastic, and no, I brought you nothing. So ladies and gentlemen, today I've got, I know exactly when I'm supposed to stop talking, which is at 12:30. I will take a break at about 11 o'clock because we've already had a little bit of a session, if that's all right with you, and then I will stop talking at 12:30, exactly 12:30. I'm the perfect woman that way. You tell me to stop talking, I do. Because that's polite. So I'm going to share with you a couple things, the 15 ways to grow your business. If you looked at the description of this program, a few things may have stood out for you. When you read the description of the program, what was interesting to you? What was interesting? Do you remember when you read the description of the program? Was anything at all interesting? Nothing at all. I worked really hard on that. That's fantastic.
Multiple streams of revenue.
Multiple streams of revenue. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Multiple streams of revenue in my mind does not mean working at Walmart during the day and Taco Bell at night. It's way too much work. I have done that. I worked for the District Attorney Henry Wade in Dallas, Texas. When I was a teenager, and I would come home, I would take the bus home from that job, change clothes, put on my Wendy's uniform and my little hat, and then go and work the night shift at Wendy's and close at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I would get up the next day and go back to Henry Wade's office. And so that is multiple streams of income. It's also a lot of work. And then your hair smells like fries. So that's a problem for me. Good. Anything else that stood out for you from this?
Air Force.
The Air Force Academy. Yes, yes. Were you Air Force, sir?
Aluminum University.
School
for Liquid Glory.
Yeah, yes, a lot of us took that course. Or we found some of them. Okay, fantastic. How many of you currently have you've already written a book? Okay? A lot of work, isn't it? Yeah. How many of you have been told you should have a book because if you really want to get booked, you have to have a book? Anybody heard that? Okay, great, fantastic. How many of you actually do want to do another book? Okay, so I'm gonna, at the last part of this, I'm gonna talk about ways that I think it's easier to put together a book. There's the hard way and then there's the easy way. And the easy way does not mean a worse product, it means that you just simply did it more efficiently. I'm an economist by trade and training, my PhD's in economics. I sort of have another one in political science that nobody cares about, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But as a practicing economist, I work on things that are efficient, creating efficiency and making that easy. Now, every time we go out on a mission, we have a checklist, don't we? We have a checklist. I create checklists because that's what I need to be efficient and consistent every single time. Every time I get a gig, I have a checklist. I have a gig checklist. And at the top of it is organization. And it's the quick, hot, and dirty things at the very top. We are going to go over this at the winter conference, but I'm happy to share, by the way, anything I have with you. You need to know that right off. I don't sell anything to speakers. Zero, nada, nothing. Nothing up here is for sale. No, 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 no. It's just not where I come from. It's just not what I do. I do not believe in taking money from my friends. Family's a different story. Thank you for laughing at that. All my brothers and sisters, everybody, by the way, was in the military. My older brother flew 53s for the Marine Corps, and he did 26 years. His wife was also Navy. They're both 85 grads out of the boat school in Annapolis. That's the Naval Academy for those of you who don't know. And then my husband, of course, was a Force Recon Marine. Very cute. They train with the SEALs, of course. And then my younger sister was the Air Force One. She's a comms officer. She did 20 years. Her husband was a Naval Academy grad. We got that part down. And he was a maintenance officer in the Navy. And then my younger brother was the P-3 pilot, also a 94 Naval Academy grad. And he married a school teacher. And I have to tell you, we need Jennifer in our lives, in my family, so much. She's super nice. We're like, what? She uses all these words. We're like, wow. Because when we communicate with each other, when I landed here in New Orleans, we text, right? So I text back to my brothers, because we communicate all the time, because it's accountability. We want to make sure that, it's accountability. There's always somebody you text. And most of your texts and by the way, I talk really fast. If I'm going too fast, please tell me, slow down. I realize I'm in New Orleans, but I'm awake and I'm excited to be here. So, and I've got a lot of information to cover. So if I need to slow down a little bit, I'm more than happy to do that. So I get to New Orleans. A lot of you, when you travel, you send a note back to your family and you say, what's your wife's name? Virginia, yes, I can pick on you because you're a Navy guy, and I know that your skin is a little, tough, so I don't mind picking on you. And dear Virginia, hey honey, just wanted to let you know, arrived safely in Denver, everything's great. They met me at the airport, on the way to the hotel, love you. Yeah, so that's a nice communication right there. Here's my communication to my siblings. SOD, MSY. SOD, safe on deck. When a plane is landing on a carrier, SOD, be careful. When a plane is landing on a carrier at night in operations, and see, for your Air Force people, I'm sorry?
And we call that landing?
Well, yeah, it's a controlled crash. 99% of the time, that 1% of the time is part that gets you in trouble. But most Air Force pilots I know, they're landing on land. The land is not moving like this. It's not moving like this, and it's not moving like this. And it's not the middle of the night, and it's not a runway that's as big as a postage stamp. So it's very exciting when you've landed on carriers, right? It gets your attention every single time, because every single time you're like, there's no possible, and then there's expletives. There's no, and this is being recorded, there is no way, so careful, must be so careful, there's no way we're going to be able to land this big plane on that tiny little thing, which looks like a postage stamp, and then it's going like this, and the ship is moving, and you're moving, there's a lot of moving parts, and then you have to remember that the person who is catching your plane, because it's not like you have brakes, we literally catch them, there's a wire, there are 4 wires, ideally you catch the second or third, by the time you get to the 4th, you have there's a reason we wear brown and green uniforms. Dark clothing. Flight suits that are baggy. So, and you have to remember that person who is setting up that wire and catching your plane maybe graduating from high school.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, because that's teamwork. And we rely on that 19-year-old kid who puts on a t-shirt and a little hat with a little thing, and he fixed that line. And if he doesn't do his job right, him or her, then guess what? You die. Because then your plane goes like this, and you know what, if you don't hit the gas right away, you have a nanosecond to make that decision. If you don't hit the gas and accelerate really quickly, if you don't catch that thing, guess what, the ship is going like this. And by the way, those of you who didn't love physics, let me make this super easy for you. When you have a small city moving through the ocean at 30 knots, it carries 5,000 people at a time, you've got a vacuum that is created by the movement of the boat. And guess what, if you miss that wire trying to land on that boat, and you go plop like that, first, you're going to get run over, or it's just going to suck you down underneath it, and you're dead. So we take SOD very seriously. So SOD, New Orleans, we're good. Short, choppy sentences. Alrighty then. So just a brief introduction of what I'm going to talk to you about today. This is what I'm going to talk to you about. This is the idea. This is our to-do list today. To make more money. Now, folks, I'm the first one to say that money cannot buy happiness, but I will tell you that poverty is miserable. If you need a frame of reference, none of us, if you are doing well in your business, then you can help your community. If you are doing well in your business, you can support your family. If you are doing well in your business, you can throw your kids out of the house like you should, Forrest. That's awesome. If you're doing well in your business, you can support the things you care about. That means being successful. In this day and age, people somehow think the word profit associated with business is a dirty word. It is not, because I know a lot of dirty words. Profit is not one of them. So we're going to talk about ways to make profit, because profit is good. Profit helps you be a better citizen. Profit helps you build your community and the world you live in. And then you can help other people. And that's kind of why I like this idea. So what would make today fabulous for you? You just tell me, what would one good nugget, one good takeaway be helpful?
Money.
Would that make more money? Okay, you'd like $5 and you're good. You can be bought, I understand. Fantastic. What would make today fabulous? What would you like? Is there any burning desire you have? Keep it clean. It's a family show today. No? Fantastic. Low expectations. That's perfect. In terms of running a business or product development, is there anything specific you'd like to know? Any ideas specifically? Nope? Yes, sir.
I'm still struggling with how to use electronic, technology to get my message to all the people in this state, because they can't come visit me once a week. It's too far to drive. So I just feel like I don't do a good job of electrifying great material that I'd like to share with them.
Fantastic. So you'd like a way to get more of your material out to more people?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, sir.
Is social media an absolute must, and how much time a day does it take to digest and get that out to the people?
So the answer is yes, and not nearly as much as you think. And thank you for asking, because I have everything I do, like I say, I try to make really easy. And one of the things I brought for you today is the 5-minute social media plan.
Oh.
How to create a social media, yeah, if you would, how to create, since you asked about it, how to create a social media, to create the plan in 5 minutes, and then how to execute it, because if you want to, especially if you're a 13-year-old girl, you can spend your whole life on social media. So, yes, sir.
I'd like to know from your perspective, do you focus on interactive presentations with your audience, and how do you make it interactive? Any tips?
Yes, so interactivity, so I started teaching, by the way, in 1987 at the college level. And right now, meeting planners are wanting more and more interactivity, to which I said, how could you possibly do a presentation that wasn't interactive? I want to know what my audience is thinking, and even with large groups, I hop off the stage and I walk around. And when I ask a question, first I make sure I never, ever, ever put anybody on the spot. Like with my Navy SEAL buddy here, I know that I can say stuff and I address it, but I never asked him for an answer, if you notice that. Because I would never put somebody on the spot. Nobody likes that. I also never ever do that. Turn to your neighbor and discuss 3 things you're going to do. Oh! If I wanted to talk to my neighbor, I'd do it in the bathroom.
Right? That's right.
Some of you got that. There were layers to that. Layers.
Is that the same?
Layers. But when I ask questions to audiences, I frequently ask questions about things that they care about. So mostly I'm a leadership speaker. Most of my books are on leadership and business development, but mostly I get paid to be a leadership speaker. And I relate everything we use in the military to dogs, because I'm the first one to say, if you look at my resume and go, wow, somebody who spent 21 years on active duty as a commissioned officer in the Navy, you're thinking, well, that's not going to be fun. And then you put the word economist next to that and you're like, oh good God, that's going to be dreadful. And then you put the word woman next to it. Now, all of a sudden, that's 3 things I now have to overcome in terms of selling what I do. So my first programs were called Leadership Lessons from the Dog. Now that sounds very fluffy and furry, and it's none of those things. It just makes leadership principles attainable. So one of the questions I ask people, and I'm going to deconstruct some of the things I do in my normal speeches so that you can kind of see how I also use product development and materials. So I ask people, I go, who here has a dog? Who here has a dog? Who here has ever had a dog? Keep your hand up. Fantastic. And then I ask a question, I say, we're going to find the biggest dog in the room. So the people who have dogs right now, who's got the biggest dog in the room? What do you have, sir? Pit bulls, excellent. So now I know most dog breeds. You can't really surprise me with things. So he says pit bulls. Most people with dogs like their dogs. How many pit bulls do you have? Please say 6. No. No, just, see, I'll make something fun, and he's like, no, and then it's going to be just 3. No, 7, 42, how many? 32 pit bulls. Please tell me you don't fight these pit bulls. Okay, good. All right, 32 pit bulls. So then when I get something like that, because that's not a normal response from my audience, I go, wow, 32 pit bulls. Did you teach them to play basketball? So something like that. And I will take that into something everybody goes, okay, that's really cool and funny. Who else has the biggest dog? Yes, sir.
A lab.
A lab. A black lab, a chocolate lab.
The blonde, white.
The blonde, but yes. And now, how many other people, labs are a very popular breed. So then I'll say, well, how many people here have labs? Really, just one, in an audience of 1,000, I get more, okay, fantastic. And, okay, fantastic, what do you have, sir? Who else has a big dog, big dog? That's not a big dog. Size matters. Size matters, I
More depth
said
we're talking.
big dog, yes, sir. Another pit bull, yes, sir. A shepherd, how big is your shepherd? But yay big. So we don't get pounds there, we just get yay big. Okay, fantastic. You stand, okay, great. And yes, ma'am, what do you have? A Labradoodle? A big, way up here. Any idea how much pounds? How many pounds?
I think 88.
88 pounds, okay?
84.
84? I know he's a big dog, he's off the table, I don't know. Fantastic. And then I ask a question, I say, who's got a small dog? Now, yes, okay. We already got you. We already got you. Yes, ma'am, what do you have?
Schnauzer.
A Schnauzer, what do you have?
A mutt.
A mutt, what do you have?
Shih Tzu.
A Shih Tzu. The Yorkie. So now I always wait to find somebody who I think will have a really small dog. And then she's going to say Yorkie, and I'm going to go, is that Yorkie in your purse right now? and then she looks in her purse like, did I walk out of the house by mistake? There's a little dog in there. What do you have, sir?
Toy poodle.
A toy poodle. Because somebody has to have hair. That was for you, Bruce. That was just for you. I throw that out there.
You can just sit quiet
Joe and
now.
I know each other a long time. And then, what do you have? I'll wait. What do you have?
Oh, I have I'm sorry, a Bichon.
She's like, he's talking to me. I can't. Yeah. Okay. So now, guess what? People now, dog lovers love talking about their dogs. So now I relate this into dogs, and then I talk about the fact that if I want to reward good behavior, like training a puppy, I can do that, and that's how I tied into leadership. So that's one of the things that I do. So one of the things that I like to do is brand things sort of with the dog, but very gently. So for example, one of the products in terms of product development, have you seen these on your phones? Have you ever seen these? I love these because you can, text and drive. That's supposed to be funny. Don't do that. Don't do that. It also props up your phone just like that, so you can watch movies on whatever's. And when we were at dinner last night, I don't bring a purse. I carry my ID and a credit card and my room key right there. Now, what's on the back of that, sir?
Dog.
It's a dog. Now, dog people love this. Every single dog person right now is like, what do you think? You want one. That's exactly. You want one of these because it's crazy cool, and it's got a dog on it, and it looks just like your Labrador puppy. And guess what? It doesn't have my branding on it because it doesn't have to. Because why? Because you're going to go, if it had my brand on it, oh, Mary Kelly, productive leaders. You don't care about me, but you do care about your dog. Bingo, absolutely, yes. So let's do that now.
Mary, did you get those done?
Yeah, well,
Oh, look out.
so everybody gets one. Would you help me pass this out?
Oh, wow.
Question is, do you have these manufactured?
No, my dogs produce them in my house.
Oh, my God.
I have a woman named Nancy or Cece or whatever her name is in China, and she does these for me. So I brought 20.
Did you do
Uh-oh.
I did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And if you didn't get one, just do me a favor, shoot me an email, and I'll mail it to you. And I've lost my phone. So now, what I have just created, just by talking to you about your dogs and showing you this cool thing, I have created a demand for something which previously you did not know you needed. It is this nifty little gizmo on the back of your phone. And some of you are like, I need a couple of those because those are great stocking stuffers. Now, it's absolutely fantastic. And like I said, they said about 20 people registered, so I just brought 20, but I'll cheerfully send them to you. These are going in my Christmas card to my clients this year with a little card that explains what it is. Because if you just got this, you'd be like, I don't know what it is, and you might throw it away. The little card says, this goes on the back of your phone. It holds your credit card, a couple things, your wallet, business cards. Because how many times have you ever reached for a business card and it hasn't been there, but you always have this? And, it sits really nicely on, your airline seat or whatever. So, product development. These I get from China. Stick it on exactly where you want it because they are sticky little things. There's some struggling going on here. Somebody's on the struggle bus. It's okay. And I get them in a color that matches. My latest book is red. My In Case of Emergency program is red, so these are red. And I will drop them in Christmas cards this year, and people will go, wow, that's neato keen. Now, again, if I have my branding on it, nobody would want it. Because David Newman taught me this. He said, if you're going to give something away or do something, make it about them, not you. So even the people who are cat people in here, you want one of those. Where are my cat people? I got nothing for you. Okay. I don't. No, I love cats. In my presentation, because I have to include everybody, and I want to be very inclusive. So I actually have a picture of a cat, and it says, "This is a stock picture of a kitty, so the cat people don't get mad at me." and that kind of works. Okay, so I want to go into 10 mistakes that most speakers make. I've only been in this business for about 10 years as a professional speaker. I retired out of the Navy. I will tell you how I got into it. I was teaching at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. We got a new admiral in who was he was a sub guy. You understand exactly what I mean. Yeah, and so public speaking was not really his thing. And so every time people call and go, "We'd like the admiral to come do a talk for the Marriott, the FBI, the youth development, the Boy Scout Jamboree," the public affairs person says, "But you get married." And they said, "Well, we don't really want Commander Kelly, we want the admiral." Everybody always wants the admiral. And they said, "Yeah, you get Commander Kelly." And they said, "Well, really, and they go, "Trust us, you get Commander Kelly." So I would just rebraid my hair. I have a little uniform now. One of the other reasons I started relating leadership to dogs was so I could bring my dog with me. Because I love my little doggy, and if I could bring 32 pit bulls with me to an event, that would just be fantastic fun. So I got that, and then so I'm in uniform and I have a dog. So I have plus 10 points, dog in uniform, yay team. So some of those people, when I was doing all these free talks to them, and again, my day job is teaching, they call me after I retired and said, "Can you come talk to my pizza company? Can you come talk to my retail store? Can you talk to my leadership team?" And I was like, "Well, I don't see what's so hard about this whole speaking thing. Why do people need to join an organization to learn how to speak and get paid? This is easy." And then they said, "We'll give you this money." I was like, "Okay, that sounds like a good idea." So I'll tell you that, and some of you remember him. So I was at an event when I was still in uniform on active duty, and I was at the Baltimore Waterfront Marriott. And I was the closing speaker, and the opening speaker was a guy named John Alston. Remember John? Love John. And he taught us the dance of life. That was his thing. And I watched him do this, and he was so fantastic. And I'm watching him, and then he stayed and watched me. And he came up and he goes, "Kid, you're pretty good at this." I'm in my Navy uniform. And I was like, "Well, thanks." And he said, "So have you thought about doing this professionally?" And I said, "Well, I've kind of got this day job thing going on. It's working okay for me." And he said, "No, there's something called the NSA." And I said, "Oh, I already work there." And he said, "We're the other NSA." And he said, "They're going to teach you how to make this a business." And I thought that was, so I drove home that day and I called a friend of mine and I said, so the light bulb came on, and I'll tell you why the light bulb came on, because they could not figure out how to pay my $26 in parking at the Baltimore Waterfront Marriott. He got taken to dinner at Roy's. I got nothing. He got a lovely parting gift. I got the ballpoint pen I stole from the hotel. And he got a check. And I said to myself, "Okay, you're not the sharpest tack in the drawer, but one of you is doing this right, and it ain't you." So I called my friend and I said, "I think I have my aha moment. I think I need to know I know what I need to do." Now, having said that, I ran bases in the military. I ran bases you may have heard of, like Pearl Harbor and shipyards and things like that. I ran the Navy's largest pay and personnel center. I was also, by the way, a chief of police, and I still enjoy a good takedown. I have handcuffs over there too. So I'll just tell you, I know, I suddenly got your attention, Joe. I know. So
Now I'm listening.
Yeah,
Joe, you want to move back here with us?
Yeah,
I like it right here.
And Jason's like, "I gotta go, it just got hot in here." All right. So, number one, speakers don't know they make a profit. If you need a good profit and loss statement, and this is just for your speaking business, I don't care about the rest of your life, but for your speaking business, you've got to have a separate sheet. Go to my website, there are free downloads. I will tell you, I put all my coaching stuff on my website mostly so that I can find it. Look, honestly, this is a conversation with you, and I appreciate that I can be just totally real and honest with you, because I do consider you my new best friends, and we're going to be, lifelong buddies and everything like that. So on my website under free stuff is a fill-in-the-blank profit and loss statement, and it does the math for you, which is really nice. I also subscribe to, if you've seen Mark LeBlanc's spreadsheet, I've been doing that as well for years, but I do it slightly different than what he does. First, I do it every single day, every single month of the year has its own separate thing, and yes, my stuff changes colors too, but I don't consider it income until I get paid. Because if you've been speaking long enough, you've been stiffed. It just happens. It's a numbers game, you're gonna get stiffed, and nothing is for certain until until they hand you the check and the check doesn't bounce. So until that moment, it does not go on the spreadsheet. But I account for all of my speaking expenditures. How I do that is I have a credit card that I just use for speaking expenditures. That's it, boom, done. And then I rectify that at the end of everything. So have a separate business credit card. Believe me, your credit people will be so happy to give you a separate business card. And I wouldn't call it a business card because they want to charge you. You just need a separate card. Mine are color coded. So my black card is for my business expenses. My green stuff is my personal stuff. My blue stuff is for charity. That's it. That's how I do my bookkeeping. It works for me. All right. They spend too much on marketing. Folks, marketing is so that people can find you. It can become a religion. You can spend your entire life marketing your own stuff. I would rather be speaking than marketing, but marketing is a component. So when I develop marketing materials, like everything that you see here today, all the materials, they all come from Fiverr. Do you know Fiverr? Fiverr.com. Yep. Things that people are willing to do, mostly legally, for $5, and sometimes 10. I use Fiverr for all kinds of things because I can find talent. If I really need a job, I will send it to 3 different providers and take the one that I like best. Fiverr is cost effective and it's fast, which is what I like. They waste tons of time. A lot of speakers talk about speaking and they talk about taking action, but they don't take action. It makes me absolutely positively bat crazy. So we are, how many people have seen the movie The Princess Bride? We are people of action. Lies do not become us. So I created this for me. I needed something, the Covey system, the 1-a-day planner. Guess what? I would run out of, they're this big. I ran out of room a long time ago. This is my productivity system. And I do one of these every single day, Saturdays, Sundays, nights, weekends, holidays. And sometimes if I'm really busy, I have categories. I've got Air Force Academy on one category, speaking business on another category, home life on stuff. And it's things like, what phone calls do I need to make today? What's my follow-up? My absolute appointments for the day, and then my to-do list. Now, I will tell you that I also at the bottom put short-term goals and accomplishments. Guess what never gets filled out? The accomplishments. Because I just cross things off. And we all know that when you cross things off a list, you get a jolt of dopamine and serotonin in your brain. And it does. So sometimes if you're having a bad day, you put something down there like, drink coffee, just so you can cross it off. So if you're interested in this, it's one of those, tear off a sheet of paper. Yes, sir. Yeah, you can pass that around. That's fantastic. So if you're wasting tons of time or you're not as efficient or effective as you'd like to be, use this productivity sheet. Use it for 30 days. The things that don't get done, circle those, and at the end of 30 days, ask yourself, why didn't I do that? Sometimes we just don't wanna. So big shocker to you, you're never gonna wanna. You're never going to want to do something. However, if you look at something and go, there's an obstacle, I would very much like to create a nifty, something like this, but I do not have the talent to do this. That's when you need to find someone else who can, or you need to trade jobs with somebody else. So if there's an obstacle or a mental block or something you say, I need to do that, but I need a software to do that, then that's an obstacle. That's something that stops you from getting things done fast, or as effectively as you like. Now, I also have one of these for my long-range things as well. And this is all a free download, and I'm also going to email all this stuff to you automatically before 12:30. Sounds like a good plan?
Yes.
Everybody say yes.
Yes.
See, I love that. See, that's a technique I learned from my preacher. He goes, everybody say
Yes.
yes. Yeah, it works. Yeah. So sometimes I'll say, everybody say yes, and I get like half the room goes, amen. I'm like, I'm on it.
As you wish.
As you wish. Yes. So they lack focus. I'm going to talk to you about a career plan on things where you can get laser-like focus with a vision plan and a career plan. And you can use this with your team, your board of advisors, your mastermind. How many people here have a mastermind? Fantastic. So a mastermind is a group of people who either do what you do, or they're either horizontal, they do what you do, or they are vertical, where they're in different professions, and you meet together to brainstorm. The people in my mastermind, how many of you know who David Newman is? Yeah, I got David to be in a mastermind. I know. Yeah. Score! I've been using and seeing his stuff for about 5 years, and I called up David one day and I said, look, I've been just sucking all your free stuff from you for years. And after a certain point, even I feel guilty. So I'm like, dude, I need to send you a check for something. So tell me which one of your programs I should just write a check for, and I'm going to do that. Because I've been using his stuff for so long, so I dutifully got his course on book publishing and book marketing, and it's genius. If you're going to spend money, don't spend money on 99% of the people you meet. I will tell you where I would spend money if I was to spend money now starting out. Treat business like a hobby. Ding, 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 ding. Treat the business, they treat their business like a hobby instead of treating it like a business. Now, if speaking is truly a hobby for you, that's great. But know the difference between a hobby and a business. A business you think about 24/7. A business consumes your life. A business is your focus. A business is your passion. If it's a hobby, it's nice. You get to go to New Orleans, that's nice. But there's a difference in the mindset. So people say, oh, it's my passion. That worries me a little bit. Because I go, well then, if it's your passion, would you do it for free? And they'll go, yeah. I'm like, then that may not be a business. You need to look at what the market will support. I've had people say, oh, I majored in this and now I want to do this. I'm like, wow. You need to stake out your place under the bridge right now, because that's where you're going to be. Just say.
Shopping cart.
Get the shopping cart with the padded bumper things on the bus. Those are the best. Those are the best. Speakers tend to pay too much for bad advice. Stop paying for bad advice. The worst mistake I did when I got into this business was I hired a speaking coach. That person is still around NSA. She cost me thousands of dollars in bad advice and fees. Trust your gut. You're better than you think you are. Some of you are worse, but I'm going to go with that statistically. But you're better than you think you are. If you really want honest feedback, and let's face it, most of us don't. Most of us want to be told, you're fantastic, you're great, you're the man. Most of us don't want honest feedback, but if you do, you get your mastermind, you get trusted people to show up, watch you speak. Call Bruce, he doesn't mind criticizing people, and you say, I need you to tell me things I can do to be better, be specific with platform skills. I need you to help me be better specifically with, what do you think of my slide deck? Be very specific about the feedback you want. Instead of just saying, well, what do you think, how did you think it went today? They're not going to give you feedback, and they sure won't give you honest feedback. Oh, you were great, you changed my life, yeah. I have a family that tends to be hypercritical about everything. A couple years ago, so my parents are some of the most, I know it's on tape, hi Mom! My parents are some of the most hypercritical people on the planet. I was just in Texas for Thanksgiving. I did 2 programs, one in the morning and then one in the afternoon, and my parents came to the one in the afternoon. And it, a couple hundred people, and I did, one of my things, and at the end my mom goes, really? That's where you parted your hair today?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Okay, and a couple years ago I got the NFL Network. I got that too. That's when I got the NFL Network. My mom's like, really, that jacket? I'm like, yeah. And when you do an interview, and they interview you for like an hour and a half, and then they use 42 seconds. But it got me on the NFL Network. Which, by the way, if you're a guy. And your daughter gets on the NFL Network to be interviewed about leadership in football, you tell all your friends.
Oh, yeah.
And so did my dad.
Oh, absolutely.
Mary,
That was
I
awesome.
saw a documentary on Johnny Carson, and his mother was just like that.
Oh yeah. My parents also go, you are not funny. People laugh, but they're just being polite. I'm like, thank you. Because all feedback is exactly that. It's feedback. Some of it's going to be good, some of it's not. So take advice with a grain of salt. Not everybody's going to love what you do. Not everybody has to. I had somebody say, when you talk about leadership in dogs, and it's only about 10-20% of my business, they said, some people are not going to like that. I go, okay. And they're like, well, you're going to alienate those people who don't like dogs. I'm like, if they don't like dogs, I kind of don't want to work with them. That's me. And keep in mind, when someone rejects you as a speaker, it's not like, oh, which box of cereal should I get, the Lucky Charms or the Cocoa Puffs? No. If they chose the Cocoa Puffs, they're rejecting you, the Lucky Charms. When you get rejected as a speaker, they're rejecting you. You. They didn't want me, they wanted Forrest. They didn't want me, they wanted Gabe. They rejected me. Now, if that's going to be hard for you, this may not be the right profession. There's a lot of rejection. If you thought dating was hard, welcome to being a professional speaker. What?
It's a lonely business.
And I don't think it's lonely.
No,
I think it's awesome.
traveling by yourself.
I love that.
When you're Bruce, you're
kidding?
lonely.
I love traveling by myself. You know why?
Yeah.
Nobody tells me what to eat.
That's
Nobody
right.
tells me where to go.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, I don't want to sit by the window. You tell me, I like the aisle. I have to pee a lot. That's gonna get I love traveling by myself. I meet new best friends. I love new best friends. I get to do I work great on the road. But some people do get lonely. And some people get lonely because of the rejection. Or have you ever had that moment where they said, oh yeah, we're gonna have 2,000 people at this event, and you walk in and there are 9. And the room is still set for 2,000, and your energy just, and you go, okay, Colin Ray, do you know Colin Ray, the country singer? I love him so much. I went to a show of his, and the room was set for about 7,000 people. There were 62 of us in the room. It was in Branson, Missouri. Colin Ray.
Oh, okay.
It was in Branson, Missouri, and there were 62 of us in the audience. We're all in the front row seat. Now, I thought this was great because I'm like, I love him so much. I'm taking pictures. I'm like saying it. Nobody wants to hear that. And he delivered a show like every seat was packed. And I thought that is a great lesson for us.
Yeah.
Because it shifts your energy. When you're thinking about 2,000, it's gonna be 9, it does shift the energy. So a lot of this is energy transference. We come in with this ball of energy, and if there's only 9 people to give it back to us, that's a big energy shift. If there's 2,000, it's more,
Mike McKinley, who was a past president, taught me to always have a roll of duct tape with me. And when you get there early and they book that big keynote room and it's a break, it's supposed to be a breakout or something, then I automatically start taping 1/3 of the room.
Right.
All the tables, the chairs, and push them all forward, and get the client to help you move them forward. Because you don't want the speaker to be the bad person and say, please move forward, they won't anyway. But let the client do the bad news so that you're the likable person. And by always having that duct tape with me, those push bars in the back of the room, that hear the noise you go to the bathroom, Mike taught me to duct tape them open in an open position.
Nice.
And just take it off when you're done, and you'll never hear that noise while you're keynoting.
Nice. We've had these situations, and the pros, we've done it often enough that you figure out how to do this. But please don't pay for bad advice. Figure out what's going to work for you. Do not chase every shiny object. So at the very end of this today, I'm going to ask you what your takeaway is. So keep that in mind. Please stop talking about your business and actually do your business. Take action. Take action, take action. I have some friends who say, I said, what do you do today to work on your business? They go, well, I got up this morning, then I took the dog for a walk, and then I went to hot yoga class, and then I went to lunch with some friends. I'm like, you didn't work, you're not working. This is not working in business. Many of you are still in a day job, and that is fantastic. That doesn't mean you can't spend another 20 or 30 hours working on your speaking business. And that means finding leads, finding people who want to hire you, and going after those people. The speaking business is very simple. You are a talent, people need to hire you. That's it. Don't make it super complicated. There are techniques that will help, but don't make it super complicated. Number 8, having bad video, no video, not having a YouTube channel. Folks, get that done. I know you're going to do some kind of video thing, and I'm going to talk about what you can do with your video in a little bit. Don't be short-sighted. I don't sell books. I don't sell books even at my events. Now, people say, why do you, what? I'll tell you how this works. So I talk to the meeting planners. So let's say you're my meeting planner, Lee, right? And what do you spend your time on outside of your business? What do you love to do? What's a cause that you care about?
Too many things. A list. I love Toastmasters. I love Kiwanis. I love being involved in CASA.
Perfect. Okay, great. So I know that Lee's big into Kiwanis. So I say, you know what, Lee, I'm so excited about coming to your presentation on the 3rd of December at the Airport Hilton, and I'm going to have some books that some of your audience members might want. But here's the deal: I don't sell books. So if you want to have those books available for people to exchange money for that, that's fine. I don't sell books. I sit at the table and I sign the books and I smile. But if somebody wants, how we do it is I have a little dollar store, like a little trash can bucket thing, and I put a sign on it that says Kiwanis. And if you want a book, you put in a donation for Kiwanis. There's a suggested donation of $20, but nobody counts it, nobody touches it, and I never touch the money. And at the end of the event, I give a little trash can full of money that says Kiwanis to Lee, my meeting planner, and go, here you go. Now, what's just happened? I've told Lee that I care about the things he cares about, number 1. Number 2, people who want the books are gonna get the books. And if they write a check to the Kiwanis, now they get a tax deduction for my books. Do I get a tax deduction from the books for the charity? No, because the charity never received those books from me. But it is a marketing expense for me. So I can write off the cost of those books, but now I come across as a good person. Lee thinks I'm cool because now he's got $300 for Kiwanis, which he didn't have before, and people are like, wow, she's a good person. Now, the reality is, where's my financial lady just left. Okay, fantastic, yeah, she left. That's fine. But the issue there is if I have to sell books, now I have to account for every sold. I have to pay taxes on that in that state, or the judge is gonna throw me in jail. Again. I have to pay state taxes on that. And frankly, the thought of doing that for a couple $100 makes me insane. And I don't want a $20 relationship with somebody. I want them to take home my stuff because I want it sitting on their bookshelf so that when they go, I need a speaker, I need Mary Kelly. That's what I'm doing. I don't care if you read it. Like my newsletter. A lot of you have newsletters. Who's got newsletters? Wow, okay, great. A lot of you have newsletters. One. I don't care if you open my newsletter. I don't care. I spend a lot of time writing the article, and I hope it's good, and it gets reprinted other places, so it makes me feel like it's good. But if you never open it, I'm okay, because once a month, you're gonna see Mary Kelly come into your email. And you may hit delete right away, and I'm okay with that, because my ego does not care if you open it. All I need you to do is see my name once a month, Mary Kelly. Mary Kelly's adding value, and she's not trying to sell me something. So that's my approach to it. Not everybody does that. So that to me is short-sighted planning versus long-term planning. And then number 10, a lot of speakers do not have a business plan for their speaking business. So let's get to that stuff. Let's figure out what you're going to do with your content and how you're going to then deliver it to people that's going to make sense. I'm an economist, so I always say, by the way, I'm an economist, and here's some leading and lagging indicators of what's going on in the economy. By the way, the market is going up, as most of you know. Our jobs numbers are deceptively low. We have far more people unemployed. They become discouraged workers, so they've simply stopped looking for a job, so they're not on the rolls anymore. Our leading indicators, though, are housing starts, and that's going up. So guess what? 2017 looks like there's going to be more cash. The number one thing you need to be concerned about is taxes. Because right now, a lot of people don't consider taxes when you get paid as a speaker. You get a $5,000 check, and you go, woohoo, I get to go out and spend $5,000. No. You get to go out and spend $3,000. And $1,000 of that should go into your retirement account. And another $1,000 of that should go back into your business. So that extra $1,000, yeah, you get to buy groceries with that. But you do not get to spend $5,000. All right. So to survive and thrive, this is where we can be more nimble than the training companies. We were talking last night and somebody said, I just got called for a full fee job 2 weeks ago. Unbelievable. We are nimble and fast and quick. And this means return phone calls. Many people say, well, I need to think about what I'm going to say to that person. Think fast.
Yes.
Because guess what? They've already called me and Bruce and Myra, and you know what? We're going to call back. And the first person who calls back, we're going to get the job. And they're going to say, well, do you know Sam? I go, yeah, Sam's great. They go, yeah, I called him too, but he hasn't called me back. And I'm like, you know, he's so busy. Yeah. And in their head, they're going, wow, he's so busy. He's too busy for me. But you called me back. Makes sense? All right. So add value, add value, add value. I want my clients to be so excited that when they write that check, they go, oh my God, I can't believe we got all this for just this tiny amount. I want to be the best bargain ever. Now, I'm not talking Walmart bargain, the lowest price level. I want to be the best value they've ever gotten for their people. That's my idea. Anybody here watch NASCAR? Follow NASCAR? Yeah, fantastic. Jimmy Johnson won again. Who's your driver? Who's your driver? Dale. Okay, so because you probably followed Daddy.
I did.
Yeah, so you got the number 3 tattoo right here, and then when you started driving, you just filled in the other side. Went from the 3 to the 8, now the 88. If he stops driving for Hendrick, you know, you're gonna have to get a whole other side.
Hey, Mayor, I'm a Jimmy John's franchisee, so it's Kevin Harvick.
Yes, yes. See, I really thought he was gonna do it this year. It makes me so sad. This is why we have NSA. Nobody wants to get off the lead lap. Nobody wants to take time out of your day. Nobody wants to drive 3 hours to get here, but guess what? We are your tribe. We are what renews you, invigorates you, gives you better information. And once you come out of the pits, which is your time here with each other, now you can go out and be better, faster, stronger. And that's how we get ahead. We get behind each other and we bump draft. We bump draft each other by getting behind each other and giving each other a push forward. And we both go faster because of it. I do what I call bump draft consulting, because the whole idea is to get behind somebody and give them a push forward. Bump draft consulting. It's on my website. We have to not operate from fear. Many speakers are working in a scarcity mindset to where they will do things that I don't think are terribly ethical. So I tell people, you can take my ideas and all that. Somebody took my 5-minute plans, I have 30 of these, copied it pretty much verbatim, changed one word instead of the media plan, they changed what they do, it looks exactly like this. She's an NSA. It's not cool.
And one of our 4 E's
That's
is that.
ethical.
One of it is ethics, and so partly sometimes people don't realize that's not cool.
Right.
I mean, take the stuff, use the stuff, but at least, I mean, even use the 5-minute thing on the top of it. I'm like, wow, it looks exactly like this. So she took my stuff, and I know she took my stuff because when she first started in the business, I gave her the pile of stuff.
Oh, man.
But to me, that's yes, ma'am.
One time I had maybe been the opening keynote, but I stayed around and I went to the luncheon.
Mhm.
The luncheon speaker handed out a handout of mine that I had created, like on desktop, whatever. Used my handout and cut my name off at the bottom and put her,
Oh, my God.
and I was in the audience.
Oh,
Wow.
ooh.
So,
Didn't know that.
so there's, somebody's like, well, what are you gonna do about that? And there's part of me that wants to call her and say, because I'm a big fan, you don't reward bad behavior. Call her and go, not cool. And the other part of me goes, karma is a powerful God.
Yeah.
That's the video. So there's I really do believe in the forces of karma, and there's a certain amount of my thinking time that just cannot be bothered by people who operate from fear. So let's get going. Okay, so the 5-minute year in review. This is something I'm emailing to you. Look at what you did in 2006. And then figure out what worked and figure out what didn't work. This is a great way to start off your 2017 planning. This is your pit stop. It's the 5-minute year in review. And I'm going to email that to you. Run your business like a business, like I said. Let's get that done. Make sure you understand all the words on this slide.
I did.
Or at least some of them.
How much time do we have?
Right. Things like,
You should have an audience.
right, yeah, audiences are
That's
good.
good.
Make profit, all that.
What's the secret?
What's the secret of what?
You had secret up here.
The secret?
You had secret up
Oh, the secret is knowing when you make a profit. Knowing when you make a profit. So let's do the 5-minute business plan. Let's do
That's
this.
the secret.
This is what a business plan looks like. And again, I've just got 20 of these, maybe 25, I don't remember. Anyway, so there's something green and something blue. If you would help me with that, that'd be fantastic. Something green, something blue. So this is what the 5-minute business plan looks like. If you, ladies and gentlemen, are crystal clear on what it is you do, this will take you 5 minutes. If you are not crystal clear, guess what? It's going to take you longer. Now, I use this business plan and the vision plan, which is coming along again, in most of my presentations because my business clients need this. This is a product. This is a product. People like it. People sign up for my newsletter because they get the electronic version of that. Anybody here ever been a teacher? We don't write on anything because we're going to use it later, do we? Yeah, we never write on things. And until I actually email it to you, you don't believe that I'm going to send it to you because a lot of people make that promise and then they don't do it. So let's look at what this looks like. So first off, this is the big picture. This is the executive summary. This is what you do. I sell or provide to people who. Notice the universe and everyone should not be the fill in the blanks. You do not provide things to everyone. Well, everybody needs my message. No, everybody where's my my empowered woman person? Yes. So good thing is that she's got a caveat there. It's mostly women, and then empowerment. But I'm going to go. Well, I don't need empowerment. I'm good. So be careful about how you. Now, some people really need that, and so but that's gonna toss me out of the equation because. There's programs out there. A lot of I promise I'm gonna email them to you. So like I said, they said 20. So if you didn't get one, I promise you'll get them. Be careful about how you describe your stuff, because you may be unwittingly throwing some people out of the mix and keeping some other people in the mix. By the way, my women's events, they're the people who pay the least. So I have abandoned women as a market because they don't pay very much. And women are like, let's empower other women. I'm like, you can empower me by paying me.
Yeah.
You can empower me. I like that. I'm all, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so who do you provide to? Let's talk about making life better, your business operations. Who do you help? I am helping whom? I am increasing what? I am reducing or getting rid of stress, tension, conflict. Whatever you do, this is what you do. Profits or financials? Yep, you stood up. Does that mean something?
Well, it's 11, so I thought you said.
I have 90 seconds. Profits and financials. To be successful in business, you have to make a profit. What do you charge to get paid? Now let's talk about fees for just a second. NSA says, we're not allowed to talk about the stupidest idea ever. I know because I'm an economist, and I do antitrust things, and I know what the law says. The law doesn't say anything like that. So if you want to ask me about my fees, I'll tell you exactly what it is. If you want to hire me for something, I say, my fee for a nonprofit is going to be $5,000. Fantastic. But I also say, if you don't like my price, I'll give you another one. Fee integrity, ha. Heck no. You want to hire me? I'll find a way to make that work. Maybe you can give me some testimonials on my website. Maybe you can give me a letter of recommendation. Maybe you can refer to me to 3 other people. Maybe you're my perfect audience. Maybe I'm free that day and I would much rather speak than stay home and watch TV. And I will never say no to a veterans group. I will never say no to an animal group. I will never say no to seniors. So fee, I charge, yes. To get paid, what can I do? I can also earn money if I fill in the blank. Adding coaching, consulting, training, do an extra breakout, whatever it takes, all right? Almost Famous Marketing, how are people learning about me? They learn about me through what? My social media plan includes what? Folks, if you do every single social media platform, then guess what? That's probably too much. Pick 1 or 2 and be there. But you absolutely must have video. You must have video. Partly because of how the search engine optimization works. And I can get into that more later if we got some time. And then how do I manage referrals? I will tell you how I manage referrals. This is not how everybody manages referrals. Who is in real estate? Who's that? Yep, in real estate, right? So if I give you a real estate referral, what happens? You get a commission, and what do I get?
No.
I mean, I'm an investor, I buy. You know.
You're what?
Investor, I buy.
Oh, you buy them. Okay, fantastic. So in the real estate world, if you're an agent and you give somebody else a referral, you get a little cut at the end of that. So I do the same thing. So when somebody gives me a referral to a paying job, they get 10%. That's how I work. And because I come from the real estate world and because I'm in the finance brain, some people go, oh, I just feel so awkward doing that. No, it means you didn't want to write the damn check. I just feel so awkward giving money to my friends. Guess what? They'll feel better at Christmas with money. Merry Christmas, here's a check. I write a check for 10%. Boom. Because I figure I wouldn't have that job otherwise. Why wouldn't I do that? And guess what? People respond to incentives. And so once you get 10%, once you get a $500 check from me, guess what's going to happen? Next time they say, we're looking for a leadership speaker, you go, Mary Kelly's the greatest thing ever. Because that makes sense. Now, it would be one thing if I was awful. But if you have a choice between 3 fairly decent leadership speakers and I'm going to write you a check, what are you going to do? You're going to refer me. And then you're going to call me and say, I just referred you. Because darn right you are. And then guess what? Then when that person calls in, I'm going to be like, that's a real lead. And I'm all over that. So that's how I do it. I'm not saying that that's the right way, but that's just how I do it. And then climbing the mountain management, if you know you don't like doing certain things, please hire for those things. And with that, let's take a break. How long do you want the break for, Carl?
You wanted to take 15